Aretha Franklin was the queen of soul. Asha is the queen of American drug policy. So thank you, Asha. Thank you. I am here now to introduce Marc, our next speaker, Marc Grifell. If you think about my lab, the people in my lab, Kate O'Malley is from Australia, and she has an Australian perspective, which is good, and she adds some things to our knowledge about that part of the world. And then you think about Chris Medina. Chris actually spent time in prison for selling MDMA. And we learned a tremendous amount from Chris. Taisha is a practitioner in this very community, Harlem. And her patients look like the community, not like Columbia. It looks like the community. And we learned a tremendous amount from her. And so we learned a tremendous amount from each other. So I learned from my students. And it's, when I think about Marc, I think about Marc in the same way. I met Marc in 2016 at the Boom Festival. We were working at Kosmi-care. Asha got me to go to this thing, and she's like, it's a great idea for you who've never been camping to go for 7, 8 consecutive days. I lost 10 pounds. I am dead serious, and it wasn't because of stimulant use. It was because I just had never camped. But Marc, I met Marc there. And Marc was one of the people he was one of the physicians serving in Kosmi-care, and he gave a talk. And he gave a talk about something about dopamine. You know, like dopamine is like some of the biggest bullshit that we in science have perpetuated on the public about reward. And so I was listening carefully. He didn't know who I was. I was undercover at the time. And I was listening quietly, and he did such an excellent job to help the people who were at Kosmi-care working with the potential people who would have problems. I walked up to him and I said, great job. Anyway, it started a relationship where Marc ended up coming here to Columbia, where he is working with myself and Mireya for his PhD. But one of the sort of lovely things about Marc, and I think about the people in the lab, they bring these amazing human qualities, otherwise they wouldn't be in the lab. Because that's the most important thing, that they are humanists and they care about people, not so much about productivity. And what I learned from these folks, and one of the important things that I've learned from Marc, is that Marc really makes sure that our behaviors are consistent. So when you are not living according to your principles, Marc will come and step to anyone about the inconsistency in a gentle, loving manner. And, well, I'm not so loving. Marc is a lot more loving in that regard. And so he makes me want to be a better human. And that's why Marc is in the lab. And he is constantly trying and searching to be different, to be better. And it's hard work to constantly change and evolve. Like now, Marc immersed himself in this American issue related to race. And he's learning a tremendous amount about American racism. And he's staying with my son, and that just tells you what I think of Marc in that regard. And so when he learns these lessons about race, he just never has thought about that. But he's constantly changing, and he's constantly forcing us to change. And so with that, I want to bring Marc up, and he is the co-host, organizer of this conference, and we wouldn't be here were not for Marc. So thank you, Marc.
So kind introduction. Where's the for the slides?
There.
At the moment that I put productivity for human, but I have to say that I'm deeply moved by. Thank you for all of you. I think I cannot put it better than Asha